All right, it is 9:30 on Monday evening, the 15th of September, halfway through the 9th month of the year. Mark Dixon here in the Channel 3 First Alert Weather Center with your First Alert Weather Extra. Today, a nice start to the third week of September. It was warm. Temperatures running a couple degrees above average, and we enjoyed a lot of sunshine, some scattered clouds as well. As the week progresses, we're going to get a little bit cloudier, perhaps a little unsettled, and also a little bit cooler. And then we're going to turn brighter and warmer yet again, at least briefly, before temperatures drop for this upcoming weekend. So first and foremost, today, normal high for the Hartford area, mid-70s, around 77. So today, several degrees above that. Some towns reached, maybe even in some spots exceeded the 80-degree mark. That was certainly the case in Meriden, the warm spot on the map at 82. We had 81 in New Haven and Danbury, Tolland, Willimantic, Windsor Locks right at the 80-degree mark. Now today, also a notable day when it comes to our sunset, as it was at 7 o'clock on the dot. So we've been losing daylight, working away from the summer solstice back in June as we make our way toward the winter solstice. So today, sunset 7 o'clock. That means tomorrow, sunset will be in the 6 o'clock hour, 6:58 specifically. So we're losing daylight. Days are getting shorter. Nights are getting longer. The cooler, crisper nights signaling to the trees. It's time to start changing color. The chlorophyll breaks down. So we should start to see some nice color here over the next couple of weeks across Connecticut. Back on the temperature front today, about 76. Pardon me. I misspoke earlier. 76 is the average high. So above that by 4 degrees, and our normal low is 54. We start off at 57 today. So a look at the month of September so far. These are high temperatures for the Hartford area. The blue tiles represents days where the temperature peaked below normal. Red tiles where the temperature peaked above. Gray, right in line with what's considered typical or average. So you can see over the past couple of days, we've been trending milder. So we will go a little bit cooler and much cooler as we head into this upcoming weekend. With regard to precip, the month, that first weekend of the month was a little bit unsettled. Of course, we had rain Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. This past weekend, while we had nearly 2/10 of an inch of rain at Bradley Airport on Sunday, not every community picked up rain. These showers that popped up and an occasional downpour or two Saturday and Sunday afternoons were very hit and miss, isolated again in nature. So a situation where some communities either day picked up no rain at all, or even both days. So on the drought monitor, you can see that shade of yellow representing abnormally dry conditions for coastal and southeast Connecticut. We'll get an update on Thursday. The bottom line here is we do have deficits still ongoing and growing in parts of the state. So we could use some rain. Chances are pretty slim over the next 5 to 7 days. You can see on First Alert Live Radar, the only live radar in Connecticut, we're scanning dry tonight, and say tomorrow night into Wednesday will be our best chance for at least some showers over the next 7 days. More on that in just a moment. We're making our way past the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season. That was back on the 10th. So that was last week. So we're now still in a very, climatologically speaking, active part of the season. But right now, no name storms across the Atlantic basin. That includes the Caribbean and the Gulf. So the National Hurricane Center, you see that red X, that is an area that they're monitoring. We are as well, for some development as it moves to the northwest. And that kind of polygon, that swath of red there, that is where there's a likelihood for further development, for a storm to strengthen, for this area of low pressure to become a tropical depression. And if it reaches tropical storm status, it will get a name. The next one on the list is Gabrielle. So far this season, we've only had 6 named storms. And of the 6, all of them have been tropical storms except for Erin, and that became a major hurricane at one point, a Cat 5. So pretty incredible so far this season. It's, again, not always about the number of storms that develop. It's more or less where they travel and if they impact land. So we'll continue to monitor the situation as the Atlantic hurricane season runs through the end of November. All right, so right now across the state, still holding on to 70 around Bridgeport, 71 in New Haven. Elsewhere, we've dropped into the 60s. Coolest reading right now coming from Salisbury at 61, followed by Putnam at 62, and then Groton at 63. So compared to this time yesterday, with the exception of Northeast Connecticut, we're equally as cool, if not a little bit cooler, but Northeast Connecticut, a couple degrees milder. Basically, that's negligible, not a big deal. Winds are east-southeasterly, also relatively calm, otherwise 3 to 8 miles an hour. So for the rest of this week, it started bright, it's going to end bright. We started warm, it's going to end warm. But again, we're going to trend a bit cooler, a bit cloudier, a little bit unsettled by the middle part of the week. So the timing does not bode well for Connecticut Day at the Big E. That is Wednesday. It is going to be comfortable temperature-wise, but it may not be dry. At least the chance is there for a couple of showers. For the upcoming weekend, it's going to be feeling like autumn because after Friday, some cooler air will be arriving. We're talking about overnight lows eventually in the 40s and afternoon highs only in the lower 70s. Some towns may not get out of the 60s. Check of our ICAM view from Waterbury. A calm, tranquil evening is underway. 63 Waterbury, 68 right now in Hartford. There is the Pearl Harbor Memorial Bridge from New Haven, 71 degrees. Good visibility out there for right now, and from New London, 63. So while the visibility is fine, through the overnight hours and toward daybreak tomorrow, you're first alert to some fog that could develop, and that could be reducing visibility where it develops could reduce visibility a bit for the morning commute. So meanwhile, you can see how clouds streaming up in our direction, all connected to an area of low pressure spinning near the mid-Atlantic states offshore. So that area of low pressure is what we're going to be watching over the next couple of days, as it's not going to move much until, say, Thursday. So high pressure building out of Canada today kept us fairly bright. We certainly had some scattered clouds, but definitely kept us dry. So hour by hour, as we head tonight into the early morning hours of tomorrow, temperatures going from the 60s into the 50s. We'll bottom out low and mid 50s inland, 55 to 60 along the Connecticut shoreline. A first alert futurecast showing tomorrow kind of a blend of sun and clouds, but as the day progresses, we'll likely see more clouds than sunshine. But at least tomorrow is a dry day. Highs mid and upper 70s inland, 70 to 75 along the 95 corridor. So if you're heading up to West Springfield tomorrow for Connecticut, for just the day before Connecticut Day, tomorrow, it's another state's day tomorrow. We're looking good. We're looking for temperatures to warm into the mid-60s by 10 o'clock in the morning, mid-70s, peak heating during the afternoon, then fall back into the 60s after sunset. So here is the setup for tomorrow. High pressure to our north that is in position now, kept us fairly bright and certainly dry. Tomorrow's a dry day, but as the area of high pressure begins to crest New England, we'll start to see that increase in cloudiness. And it's tomorrow night into Wednesday as high pressure moves across the Gulf of Maine that it will allow some of the moisture from that low to stream up in our direction, kind of open the door for that. So some isolated showers will be possible. Now also, with where the highest position to our northeast and the low to our south and southwest, and between the two, we'll have this onshore component to the wind, easterly direction. So that means temperatures on Wednesday will also be cooler, only reaching, again, between 70 and 75 degrees. So check out our first alert 7-day forecast. Wednesday, low and mid 70s, mostly cloudy, isolated showers. Then Thursday, that area of low pressure begins to move away. So morning clouds and then becoming brighter during the afternoon as the sun comes out. That's going to help boost temperatures to near 80. Also note over the next couple of days, overnight lows going from the mid 50s to near 60 as we get into Thursday night and Friday morning. Friday, we're going to end the week bright and also mild, warm with highs in the lower 80s, about 5 degrees above average for this time of year. And then cooler air arrives just in time for the weekend. So Saturday, low 70s, Sunday, 70, 75, and Saturday night, early Sunday, could be rather chilly. It's Sunday that we could start the day in the 40s. And after that, a nice rebound with all that sunshine through the afternoon. So it's the last weekend of astronomical summer. Weather's going to cooperate from Friday Night Football to the Orange Fair to the Guilford Fair to UConn's home game at the Rent. Saturday afternoon, kickoff is at 3:30 with Ball State. weather should be great. As we kick off the fall season with the equinox on Monday at 2:19 in the afternoon, we're seeing temperatures climb back a little bit above average with highs in the mid to upper 70s under a partly to mostly sunny sky. All right, that is the latest from the Channel 3 First Alert Forecast Center here on this First Alert Weather Extra. We'll have much more over on Eyewitness News at 10 o'clock on the WAX and then Channel 3 at 11. If you've yet to check us out here, this is your first time on WFSB Plus, welcome. This is something we do, these long-form deep dives into our weather on weekdays, 8 o'clock in the morning and then 9:30 in the evening. In the morning, you'll typically see Scott Haney or Jill Gilardi. In the evening, you'll typically see Mike Slifer and sometimes myself. So we're here to take you through the weather that's impacting us across Connecticut. All right, again, much more coming up at 10 on the WAX and 11 on Channel 3. Have a great night.